Well, I told you guys SoFi was going to run, and it's made a pretty big run at that. It's virtually exploding. Actually, it is exploding. Don't worry about smashing the like button, subscribe button, or looking for the Discord at this point. We are going to dive right into it, and we'll talk about that in just a few moments. SoFi has made some pretty big moves, and I'm going to cover a lot of things SoFi in this video, like financials, technicals, fundamentals, some news, and what to expect with earnings, which is the key here, and the market conditions and the elections. Before we dive into all of that, guys, this Saturday, October 19th, my free masterclass webinar. It's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time this Saturday, October 19th. You will learn more in the 1 hour you're with me than you will anywhere else. That's what everyone has said who's joined the webinars before. Links in the information box below. Guys, it's limited. Last time I had hundreds and hundreds of people that were upset they couldn't make it, that we filled up. You have to sign up as quickly as possible. It's first come, first serve. Limited spots. Sign up now, and I will see you guys there. Huge announcement and a Q&A so you guys can talk to me one-on-one. I'll see you guys there. I've been telling you guys for months that SoFi was going to run. In fact, I've had a lot of comments on different videos saying that I was just pumping, the stock was never going to go anywhere. Pretty much the same comments on Palantir. If you guys go watch my Palantir videos in the past and my SoFi videos, I said a price target of $40 to $50 by January on Palantir. Pretty much check, that's happened. And I told you guys SoFi would run between $10 and $12 by the new year. Check, that's pretty much happened. I told you guys both of these stocks were good and we're going to run. But is it a good time to get in now after the fact? A lot of you guys that believe me and bought into SoFi at $6.30 or $6.50, you've already pretty much doubled your money in 3 months, just like me. Same with Palantir. You got in at 20, 21, 25, even 30. You pretty much doubled your money or a 50% return, just like me. But is it too late to get in now? Should you get in? Should you sell puts? What should you do? Let's talk about some news on SoFi. Then we're going to jump into the charts. I'm going to show you guys charting, what's going on, where I would try to get in the strategies that I would use on SoFi. SoFi and Nova Credit boost partnership, which is a new cash flow analytic to transform loan approvals. SoFi and Nova Credit boost partnership for new cash flow analytics to transform loan approvals. SoFi Technologies shares were trading higher as the company expanded its multi-year partnership with Nova Credit. This enhancement allows SoFi to access consumer permissioned bank data and cash flow analytics via Nova Credit's Cash Atlas solution, enabling the company to better serve its members. Traditional credit reporting evaluates repayment history, while cash flow data provides real-time view of financial health, allowing lenders to build comprehensive risk profiles. Since 2020, SoFi has utilized Nova Credit services and plans to integrate Cash Atlas into its loan underwriting to enhance credit risk assessment, improve eligibility, and elevate member experience. Misha Esipov, co-founder of CEO Nova Credit, said, following 4 successful years of working together, this expansion is a great example of how our continual innovation and commitment to making that vision a reality. We couldn't be more excited to continue working with SoFi to enable the power of cash flow analytics to help more people access the financial products they need to achieve their goals. Apart from this, SoFi partnered with tennis champion Venus Williams and Los Angeles Sparks forward Cameron Brink to launch the Give Her Credit campaign. This week, the company announced a $2 billion loan platform business agreement for personal loans with funds managed by affiliates of Fortress Investment Group. Last week, the company expanded its offerings by launching 2 new credit cards, the SoFi Everyday Cash Rewards credit card and the SoFi Essential credit card. You guys can see that as soon as rates got cut, SoFi started going up. They've stabilized all these new products, new partnerships, and revenue forecast has increased. Now, there are 2 things to think about. One is, of course, earnings, and 2 is the election. I think earnings are going to beat, as always. Anthony Noto always under promises, over delivers, and they've pretty much beat the last 5 or 6 earnings in a row, which is very good for SoFi and for its investors. They are likely to meet the expectations, but not only that, beat by an even better margin than the previous earnings. As long as they meet the expectation or even beat it slightly, the stock most likely won't fall from where it currently is, at least not by much. If there is any drop in price, it's going to be due to fear in the market market resulting from elections that are upcoming. So even if they meet or beat the expectations, there could still be some solid selling pressure on SoFi due to the elections. However, if PMI data that comes out in the first week of November is solid, the jobs reports are good, manufacturing, servicing is good, and after the elections, things will get better for SoFi, especially if you pair that with a good earnings. Everything will be great for SoFi. But even with the elections considered, with the fact that SoFi has had very consistent results and consistent profits and beating estimates quarter over quarter, it's pretty much safe to say they're going to beat the estimates again. And if they do, I think SoFi's strong enough at this point with the rate cuts and with these new products and new services, and Joe Biden's forgiveness on-ramp for student loan debt is off the table now, which means loans have to be repaid. When you put all of this together, debt forgiveness gone, they have to repay. Interest rates were cut. They're getting cut one more time before the end of the year. And not only that, PMI data doing better, jobs doing better, inflation coming down, all these new credit cards, partnerships, and increased revenue. You pair that with the fact that they're going to beat earnings yet again and some good PMI data going forward after the elections, it's going to be a no-brainer to want to be in SoFi. Like I said, I still stand by my original assessment. As long as they meet or beat the earnings estimate going into the new year's, I expect SoFi to be in the somewhere between high 10s and high 11s at least. And really the only downside of this is a market pullback or issues pretty much that are all a result of the unknown or the election and the unknown. But due to the bull market run going on right now and the fact that there's a lot of uninvested cash sitting on the sidelines because these big hedge funds and these big institutions that had cash in money market accounts were underinvested. They were literally underinvested in the market. So instead of there being a pullback right now, we're just having some consolidation, but mostly bull runs going on. And this is because the sideline cash is being brought in because of the fact that they were underinvested. So there's been no pullback. So now these hedge funds and institutions are adding to positions in the market, but nobody's selling and there's no pullback. So it just continues to go up. And it's likely that if we get a pullback for the elections, like Tom Lee recently said, it's going to be small or some consolidation, nowhere near what we thought because the market just keeps going up. And like I said, it's due to uninvested cash and the fact that there's uncertainty around the election. The markets don't like uncertainty, and they definitely don't like it when there's two new candidates running for election and don't know who's going to be in the White House. But things have changed, like Tom Lee and other analysts have said over the past week or so, when it looks like Donald Trump has closed the gap in swing states and taken the lead in those same swing states and in multiple states, and it's kind of looking more and more likely that he's going to win. That just means there's less uncertainty because now we know who's more likely to be in the White House, and the more we have a likelihood of a potential candidate, the more sure we are that that candidate's going to win, the less uncertainty there is in the market and the better the market will do. So I'm going to show you guys the technicals, fundamentals, where I'd like to get into SoFi, where I'd possibly like to exit, give you guys different scenarios and strategies, as well as the options that you can execute to make juicy premiums around earnings. But first, if you guys are looking to get better in the market, become a better trader, maybe you want to retire early, I offer a full Discord training course and one-on-one coaching. Whether you have a $10,000 account or a $500,000 account, it doesn't matter. I have students with $8,000 and in less than 3 months, they've turned it into $22,000. I have students that have also started with $300K, and in 4 months, they have $400K. They've made $100,000 on $300K, which is a 25% return. And if you guys are interested and you show up committed and ready to learn, I show up committed, ready to teach you. You guys can sign up at any time at investwithcorey.com. The link is in the information box below. Not only have you guys seen the comments on the screen of all the profits my students have made, you can go to Invest with Corey right here, investwithcorey.com. Case studies, you can see testimonials from my students. So you guys can just click on training right here. This video will answer all of your questions, and then you'll be able to book a call with my team and I. This way I can help you grow your portfolio just like my students. You guys can see here there is a lot of resistance at the current price. Between $9.85 all the way up to $11.70 is a lot of resistance. But everyone in this area right here that's sold is probably already back in at a lower price, which means they're going to be taking profits up here, which is what's causing the stock to fall back. Not to mention the unknown of the elections, earnings coming up. So it's hard to say. What I'm really looking for in this stock is either a pullback or confluence that it's going to go higher. If the stock pulls back to $9.50 and then starts to reject this number right here and starts to come back up, and then a green candle closes above this previous green candle, and then the next green candle starts coming up, you could get in somewhere in the 980 range. Basically 950, if there's a bounce, 950 I'd be looking to get in. However, If it doesn't pull back that far, just comes down a bit and starts to run again, the moment it breaks this high and a green candle closes above 1050, you could also get in there. However, because of the fact that this is not that expensive of a stock, I would just get in now and buy maybe 100 shares, 200 shares. If the stock pulls back to 950, buy another 100 or 200 shares. And then if it bounces and comes up like this and starts to run, now you'll have 400 shares with a cost average of around 980. That's good. If the stock was to, you buy it here and then it drops, buy more at 950. If it drops a little bit more, then buy double. So buy 100 here, 100 here, and 200 or 300 down here. This will give you an average cost of probably around 930, 940-ish, which is a good price. The stock would be around $9, $8.70. And then when it runs on earnings, you would make some money. If the worst case scenario was to happen and the stock was to keep dropping, this is what I typically do. I will buy 200 shares at $10. If the stock starts to run, I'll buy another 100 shares. It runs a little more, I'll buy another 100 shares. And if it looks like it's going to stay up there, I'll add more and then I'll let it run and I'll hold or get out for a profit. The other scenario is I'll add 100 shares here or 200. If the price pulls back, I'll add 300 here. If it drops down here, I'll add another 400 or 500 down here. If it drops again, I'll add another 300 down here. If it stabilizes and runs on earnings, my average cost will be somewhere in the 870, 860 range. And if it runs back up to 970 or $10, now I have 1,000 shares at $1. I'll make $1,000 in a couple of days. But ultimately, I'm holding long term. With SoFi, it's a long-term stock. So right now, if you're getting into SoFi, long term is going to be 2 to 3 years because there's a lot of resistance at $10. Even if earnings goes very well, we're likely to see SoFi run up to maybe $11.50, $12. A lot of consolidation. It'll pull back probably. So if I was to draw out what I think was going to happen, I think we're going to have some selling off this week, maybe a little bit more of a run. The next week, it'll sell off more. We'll average out somewhere in the high nines before earnings, maybe a little bit lower. And then earnings will be good and it'll run. Then it'll be consolidation, maybe a sell off. It'll run again, more consolidation. But really between $10.70 and $12 is where the consolidation is going to be. Even if PMI data is good in the first week of November and earnings are good, that's what's likely going to happen. However, after the elections, I expect this to run even more, like in this direction. So by the end of the year, definitely breaking through the $12 range. That's what I would think after elections. And that's if everything goes well with earnings. If you don't want to get into SoFi and you just really want to sell puts, well, then you can do that. So if you guys want to sell puts on SoFi, you can click on sell, click on put. We can go out to the 25th, 10 days on a $10 put, collect $29. You could also sell puts going out to this Friday. That's only going to get you 15. So we're going to go out to next week for $10, $29 on the premium. We might be able to get 30 or 32. I'm going to time this on a pullback tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll get 32. I'll sell 5 of these, $5,000 collateral to make $160, and $500 will be 10%. 1 week is 160. So essentially in a month, this would be 640. So this is about a 12% return. And this is a 3% per week return, which is very good. So I would sell some puts on SoFi. If you anticipate it to run to 10.50 for earnings or maybe a little higher, you could sell $10.50 puts where you'll get $55, maybe a little more. You could sell 5 of these. Not a bad way to put up $5,000 to make almost $300. This is about a 6 or a 7% return in a week. This is very good. Like 9 days, 6 or 7% return. Very good. And this is a very high delta of 61, but I anticipate SoFi this week and next week running to 10.50. Even if you get assigned and the stock price is around $10 or $10.20, your break even is going to be right around $9.95. So as long as it's over $9.95, you win. And odds are next week, the price is going to be somewhere between $9.90 and $10.50. So you're really just collecting premium with no real downside risk unless SoFi goes below $9.95, and I don't see that happening. There is a chance that it could pull back to $9.50 to $9.95, somewhere in here. And if that happens, then you're only out $20 per 100 shares. And then when it runs again, you have a break even or average cost of $9.95 when it runs instead of $10 or $10.50. So that's really going to help you guys out with your dollar cost averaging. You figure if you have an average cost of $9.95 and it runs to $11 and you have 500 shares, you made $1.05 times 500. You made like $525. So this is a really good strategy. You can sell the $10.50 puts if you're very bullish, maybe even the $11 puts, or you could just sell the $10 puts and go the week and a half out, or you can just buy the shares. I really believe in the long term, no matter what SoFi does, by the time we get into the new year or even spring, SoFi is going to be over between $11 and $13. So you really shouldn't worry too much about what happens in between. It's the same exact scenario that happened a few months ago. I had students that were asking me, oh, should I buy? The price is $8.39. Oh, the price is $8 at a high. Doesn't matter. Buy here, buy here, buy here, buy here. See, doesn't matter because look where the stock is right now, all the way up there. It's the same exact thing if you buy up here, down here, up here, down here, way over here, it's going to be up here in a year. It doesn't matter. So basically, in short, really matters. Good company, good fundamentals, good values, dollar cost average, and hold long term, and you make profits in the market. That's how it works. Time in the market beats timing the market. This is a great stock to get into. There might be a pullback. If there is, dollar cost average. If there isn't, keep adding, selling puts, adding shares, build your position. SoFi is a very strong stock. A lot of people doubted it when it was $6, $7, $8, $9, and now $10. And in a year or two from now, when it's $20, $25, there'll be doubters then. This is a great stock to get into. It's very affordable for small portfolios. And as long as you follow the rules that you set out for yourself and don't put more than 10% of your portfolio into these positions, you can sell puts to collect premium, dollar cost average, build your position in SoFi. This way you can make some juicy premiums along the way, but not only that, build yourself to a very nice profitable position when SoFi runs in the next 1 to 3 years with these rate cuts, and you guys will be glad you did. Don't forget, guys, free webinar this Saturday, October 19th, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 hour. Big announcement during the webinar. You guys are going to learn more in this webinar in 1 hour with me than you will anywhere else. Like I said, that's what everyone's been saying. It's a blast. I can't wait to meet you guys. I'll be answering your one-on-one questions. Like I said, huge announcement at the webinar. I'll see you guys there. If you want to sign up for the coaching and the Discord access and the full training course, and you guys just want to jump right in with me with my masterclass boot camp, which I've just opened back up, you guys can sign up at any time at investwithcorey.com. Link is in the information box below. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys on the next one.